Hello once again to Election Brief. I'm Arba Kumson, and coming up in this edition, newly elected CPP leadership moves to get former chairperson of the party, Samia Nkrumah, back into the fold following her decision to contest the Jomoro seat as an independent candidate.
Everybody wants Samia back. And that is our sister. I mean, she was chairman.
Also, Vice President Dr. Bawumia hits back at his critics as he insists government's infrastructure record is massive, adding alleged non-existent projects do not minimize its achievements.
In fact, today, if you go to the website, because new projects have now been added, because districts are saying we have 18,075.
Nice.
Not 17,000 anymore.
And it can be tracked?
Oh yeah, it's the same website.
And opposition NDC signs Peace Council Pact in Asawase constituency in the Ashanti region amid serious concerns that police and electoral commission cannot be trusted.
The guy took a gun pointing to a police officer. Up to today, he has not been arrested. The government has not issued a statement to condemn that.
Still on the NDC, executives in Asawase have arrested and handed over to the police a 36-year-old man accused of collecting voter ID cards. We have detail. Also, Flagbearer of All People's Congress, Hassan Ayariga, has been outlining his vision for the country if elected in the upcoming polls.
I will cancel the green and gold tax system. We shall continue with the free senior high school policy and extend it to free university.
We'll interrogate some of his pledges here on the show. We are live from our studios here at Kokomnimle on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 144. Also streaming live on myjoyonline.com. Stay with us. Thanks for your time. Now, the newly elected General Secretary of the Convention People's Party, Nana Adenta, says the party is doing everything it can to get former chairperson Samia Nkrumah back into their fold. Nana Adenta is disappointed by the former MP's decision to run for the Jomoro parliamentary seat again as an independent candidate. It's unclear what led to Samia Nkrumah's exit from the party, but Nana Adenta is unhappy about it. She spoke to Daniel Daze on Prime Morning on Joy Prime TV.
Everybody wants Samia back. And that is our sister. I mean, she was chairman and leader of the party. She was the first, one of the MPs of the party, not first female. I mean, Samia is somebody we want back. There's no way anybody wants Samia to stay where she is.
So you will be making an active effort?
I've been talking to her. I mean, I talked to her. I don't have any...
What does she tell you? Why isn't she not coming?
No, she said she wants to go and do the independent thing, and she has maybe some pains. I don't know, but really, this is a conversation between me and her, and some of the things should not be revealed in the media. Yeah, but we all want Samia back. I mean, nobody would say they don't want Samia back, but we can also force her to come back. She knows her dreams, she knows her aspirations, she knows what she wants to do, she knows what is for her in the future. We will stretch an olive vine to her, we will talk to her, we will coax her, we will beg her. But if she doesn't want to come back, truly and really, we cannot force her to come back.
Well, Nana Adenta, who beat longtime member of the party, James Bonfair, in the CPP's recent Congress to win the General Secretary position, has been outlining how the CPP's newly elected executive body would deliver victory with 4 months to the polls.
I'm going to ensure visibility. You know, right now visibility is very key in any political dispensation. I'm going to bring some kind of ability, dynamism. I am going to help the party target the youth. I was talking about test chats. And the MPP, the NDC has 10, the MPP has TESCON. We also have the test chat. And we are going to deepen our relationship with the youth in this country. Already they are coming on board, already they are there. So I'm also going to bring an attitude of commitment, that we should all be committed. Grassroots participation, grassroots development, grassroots mobilization. Kwame Nkrumah used the grassroots. Kwame Nkrumah used the grassroots to mobilize the CPP. I am a woman, I'm going to also target women. Women are very strong and we are the largest population. I'm representing a face, like I am the first female general secretary of any political party in this country.
Congratulations on that once again.
Yes, I mean, and I want that to be a sign to women that they can go higher.
So you heard the newly elected General Secretary of the Convention People's Party, Nanaya Jantwa. Meanwhile, the party's 2020 flag bearer, Ivor Greenstreet, has admonished the immediate past executives who lost their seats in the just-ended Congress not to abandon the party.
I think anybody who loses a soccer match or anybody who loses an internal contest definitely will be disappointed. But they have been committed members of the party for a long time. They have lost elections before within the party and still maintained their presence in the party. I believe the acting chairperson and leader at a point in time lost the contest for the National Women's Organizer, but she still came and served the party and continued to work for the party as a dedicated member of the party for many, many years. I believe the acting general secretary himself lost an election in the party, but still made himself available to the party. These are internal contests. I don't believe that in other parties you see people losing and all of them leaving. But yes, sometimes there are problems, but I believe that they are dedicated and important members of the team, of the party, and we'll move forward together.
How do you weld their differences as a leader of the party?
That is a process that is only just begun. I mean, the Congress was only held yesterday, and it is still the weekend. So in the coming days, I'm sure there'll be internal methods that will be dealt to try and deal with those issues.
Now, they claim on government's delivery tracker that they have constructed an astroturf in the Adenta constituency. It is another palpable falsehood. That's not from me. That's a direct quote from the communications officer of the NDC, Sami Jemfi. He was speaking at a press conference organized by the NDC yesterday, alleging that several government achievements advertised in the new delivery tracker are a sham. JoyNews' PSC Nanaya Asafo was at that site in Adenta to cross-check the facts. He shares more in the following report.
It was a source of excitement and hope for the people of Adenta Old Village about 8 months ago when the MP and chiefs of the area gathered here to cut sword for the construction of an astroturf in the area. That was in January 2020, and fast forward, the people have begun to question the reality of the project. As they tell me, for months now, they've had no contractors come to work here on the turf. The park is an average size of a football pitch without any of its matching glory. To my left, there are heaps of sand and gravel. Also, a water tank for storing water. They tell me it's abandoned for a long period of time. Most of the pitch is covered in dust, while the other side is covered with weedy grass. The entire pitch is fenced by a rusty wire mesh. On the side of it is a hanging goalpost. Most of the children here don't care anyway, but they would prefer if the project that commenced months ago is finished. According to deliverytracker.gov.gh/projects and views here, the construction of astroturf at the district, Adenta Municipal District, Greater Accra region, is currently ongoing in the Adenta Municipal. However, as it stands now, the park has not been graded in terms of leveling it for any such activity. And as I mentioned earlier, we are yet to see any contract.
So just gone by is PSC and Nanaya Asafo's report. Now, Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah has admitted government committed an error by adding the construction of the astroturf in the Adenta constituency to its list of achievements in the recent presentation by Dr. Baumia. Well, the opposition NDC, as we indicated, described the 26 of the said achievements as ghost projects. But speaking on PM Express Monday night, Mr. Oppong explained that the single error cannot overshadow the MPP's gains in infrastructure development.
AstroTurf put in there as done. We sent our reporter there tonight.
wasn't done.
Yeah, I've heard Abuabian Samoa, the member of parliament from the area, make the point that yes, that was an error that shouldn't have been included.
So you admit that?
But check this.
So NDC was right on ghost project?
No, not on ghost project. Check this.
But that was a ghost project.
Yeah, but one ghost project one project out of 17,334 does not make the entire presentation full of ghost projects. But here's my point.
But you get the point.
Oh yes, I do.
You put in there. You admit that.
Well, I've repeated that 2-3 times.
Yeah.
I'm saying if it's 17,334 initiated projects, 8,746 of them completed, 8,558 ongoing, and we have reason to say, what is it, 36? Is it 40? Is it 300 that maybe are questionable? That still leaves a huge chunk if you net it out, about 17,000 infrastructure projects across this country, even if you discount 334. I'm saying, and our argument is this: we have invested heavily in infrastructure, doing more with less resources.
Let's stay on this a while longer, because Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia insists that even if 26 of those stated projects on the website are inaccurate, the government has performed well. He spoke on Accra-based Peace FM earlier today.
17,000. In fact, today, if you go to the website, because new projects have now been added, because districts are saying we have 18,075. Not 17,000 anymore.
And it can be tracked?
Oh yeah, it's the same website. It's the same website, 18,075. But if that is the case, right, and you say 26 have problems, and we are going to interrogate that 26, that means you are saying that 99.9% of what you have done is correct. If you can only find 26 that are not correct, right? If those stand to scrutiny, 99.9%. Now that is massive.
Now, let's turn our attention on the presidency, and President Akufo-Addo has been visiting some state institutions in Accra today. Presidential correspondent Elton John Brobe is our man on the ground. He joins us live on the line. So, Elton, which state institutions has the president visited so far, and what's he been saying?
Right, so Araba, we just left the premises of the Bank of Ghana. President Akufo-Addo is currently on his way to the Ghana Stock Exchange. Now, Bank of Ghana was the first port of call. Issues about payment of depositors' money with the collapsed banks, and what the Bank of Ghana is doing to ensure that there is not a repeat of the banking sector crisis came up. Indeed, these were the questions President Akufo-Addo put before the governor of the central bank, Dr. Ernest Addison. Now, let me start with the issue of the payment of depositors' money. According to the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, they've so far paid 100% of depositors' money with their 6 collapsed banks, and they've paid 95% to the rural banks. Now, he indicated that they had issues with some, documents presented by Dr. Indus Bank, that's GN Bank. They have resolved that particular issue, and hopefully this week they will start the payment of depositors affected by the collapse of the GN Bank. President Akufo-Addo himself, said that they've looked at the numbers so far from the Finance Ministry and the Bank of Ghana, and despite the challenges with the economy occasioned by the coronavirus pandemic, the latest figures suggest that the economy is beginning to rise. And he gave credit to the central bank governor and the finance minister on the way forward to ensure that the country does not have a repeat of the banking sector crisis. The governor of the Bank of Ghana said that they have ruled out 3 issues. One has to do with a corporate directive to all banks to ensure that they comply with the laid down rules. Also, misreporting of data, and then capital. That has become an issue with some of these banks will no longer find space in the new reforms undertaken by the central bank. Arba.
All right, many thanks, Elton John Brobe there with that update, and we will be bringing you more on this in our subsequent bulletins. But let's turn our attention on the APC. I'm talking about the All People's Congress, and the leader of that party, Hassan Ayariga, has promised to extend the current free SHS system to tertiary institutions. He announced the free university policy at the 2nd National Delegates Congress of the APC yesterday, where he was acclaimed as the flag-bearer for the 2020 elections. Well, 14 national executives of the party were acclaimed also at the same event. Listen to him whilst he outlines some of the policies he intends to implement.
We shall have built ultra-modern hospitals nationwide. just not hospitals. Building hospitals are not enough. Equipping hospitals is the most important thing. The doctor-patient ratio is the most important thing. And we shall continue to give free dialysis to every Ghanaian who needs it. Free dialysis. All those having kidney problems, be assured that when the APC government wins election, your problems are solved. I would rather spend money on free dialysis than spend money on land cruisers for ministers. We will introduce what is called price guarantee system. The NDC and the NPP has never thought of it. Price guarantee system. Price guarantee system is that every commodity that is going to be sold in the market must be scrutinized. You cannot just get up in the morning and start selling your items. You increase the price the way you want. No. Every commodity must be scrutinized. Must know the price of the commodity, how much was imported, how much was put in, and the profit margin must be determined by government. So you cannot just change prices like what is happening in Makola market and Agogoji market and all the other markets where. Today you want to buy a phone, they say 5 cedis. Tomorrow you go there, oh, you're 30 cedis. That will not happen under my leadership. If pure water is sold in Ghana for 1 cedi, every part of Ghana is 1 cedi. Nobody can increase it to 2 cedi. We will build concrete roads and underground system.
Let's go live and speak to Hassan Ayaraga, who is the presidential candidate for the APC. Many thanks for your time, and congratulations are in order after you were acclaimed yesterday. But those are a lot of ambitious, policies you talked about yesterday at your Congress that you intend to implement if you are elected. How do you intend to fund, for example, free dialysis? Mr. Ayaraga, if you can unmute your microphone, that would be very helpful. So as you can see, Mr. Ayaraga is having a bit of a difficulty,
Hello?
Can you hear me now? Very good. Good.
Yes, I can hear you.
Good, good. So I was congratulating you on being acclaimed as the APC presidential candidate. But very quickly, like I indicated, you have outlined a lot of ambitious policies. You talk about, taking up the cost of, the dialysis treatment. You also talk about extending the free SHS policy to the university level. How do you intend to fund all of these policies?
Araba, as you are aware, in this country, there's a lot of corruption ongoing. And if we are to cut down on corruption alone, I am 100% sure that we'll be able to implement free tertiary education. One will ask, why even the implementation of a free secondary tertiary education? That's the most important factor one should be asking. If we also cut down on vehicles, giving free vehicles and land cruisers to ministers, free accommodation, free fuel, I'm sure we'll get enough money. If we also look at the issue of widening our tax system and making sure that we create an enabling environment for businesses to thrive so that we can tax them in the system of capitalism in a way, I am 100% sure the 2 million students in school will be catered for without difficulties.
Mr. Ayaraga, let's talk about the specifics. So have you costed how such a policy will cost? What are the estimates? You say you will take up the cost of paying for university, the tuition for university students. So have you costed it? What are the estimates?
We have done the costing for 900,000 students. But depending on the ratio of students going to school that particular year, will either increase the cost or decrease the cost of the university tertiary education.
And what does the 900,000 come to?
With the 900,000, we're looking at an estimate of 2.6 million Ghana, 2.3 million Ghana cedis. Okay.
Within what time frame?
Within the period of, every year. Okay. Every year we spend not less than 3 million Ghana cedis just for their school fees. Okay. Now, if you look at that, that is not much money needed to cater for paying for their free tertiary. Then, the most important thing is that you realize that the NPP government has implemented free senior high school. Now, if we don't give these students free tertiary education, what is going to happen? Mass drop out of the senior high school after this academic year.
All right.
Because they won't even have the money to continue to pay for their tertiary education.
Very well. Mr. Ayaraga, let's come to the issue of health. You also talked about taking up the cost of, kidney patients. Patients,
yes.
Dialysis treatment. Have you costed that as well? How much is it going to cost?
That one has not been costed because we don't know the number of patients that are going to be using the free dialysis. But what has been costed is the equipment needed for the free dialysis. And we have done a cost of, let's say, I think we did 500 dialysis machine, which each one was costing around $70,000. So if you multiply 70 by 5, you'll be getting about $3.5 million for those equipment, for the dialysis machines. And that is not much for a nation like Ghana to say that we don't have those, that we can't afford those dialysis equipment.
All right, very quickly. Now, we heard you earlier saying that if you are elected president, on your first night, you will spend the night in police cells. Why is that the case?
That is to send a signal to every corrupt official in Ghana and all the members of the public offices that anybody who misbehaves, anybody who is caught stealing, the person will go to jail. No room for excuses, no room for favor, and no room for anybody to think that we will favor anybody who is caught or who is who takes government money into consideration.
Very well. And finally,
it's very important for Ghanaians to know that the cells are meant to punish people.
Very well. Very finally, you have said that you are looking ahead to a landslide victory in the 2020 polls. How do you intend to come about that? You don't have the numbers. How do you intend to, win the elections?
Nobody gets numbers before elections. You get numbers when you begin to campaign and put policies that are going to help. Look at the policies that I've enumerated: a corruption-free economy, a decentralized state, free court, free primary education to university level, digitalized economy, production and a manufacturing hub, unique identification for the Ghanaian people, support local banks and industries, trams and train system. Who in this country will see such policies and vote for the NDC and NPP?
All right.
Because after all, we are voting based on policies and issues, not voting based on political parties' leadership, political party size. The NDC and the NPP have the biggest platform so far. But now Ghanaians are not looking for those big platforms anymore. They are looking for a leader that can transform their country and restore hope and confidence in this country.
And that leader would be you?
That is Hassan Ayaraga.
Very well.
I am sure that you yourself, knowing me in 2012 and knowing me now, you can attest that it's not the same Hassan Ayaraga that you know.
Mr. Ayaraga, we'll have to leave it here. Thank you so much. Always interesting talking to you. So that's APC presidential candidate Hassan Ayaraga. This is still election brief. Let's turn our attention on the NDC now. And the party in Asawase hesitated in signing a regional Peace Council Pact with the NPP towards ensuring peace in that constituency. The party finally signed the Peace Pact, but says its delay was born out of mistrust for the police and the Electoral Commission. Parts of the constituency witnessed pockets of unrest during the EC's voter registration exercise. The Peace Council engaged the NDC and NPP yesterday to find lasting solutions to the recurring political tension in the area. But the NDC had issues with unresolved security matters. Nanaya Jima sat through the meeting and has come through with this report.
The meeting was geared towards getting the two political parties to commit to peace in the Asawase constituency. After deliberations, the peace document was left idle for more than 30 minutes after the NPP had signed its part. NDC party executives were seen consulting among themselves. Early on, police had committed to neutrality in all matters. But the NDC brought up issues they believe police had failed to address during the voter registration exercise. Key among them is a national security operative who was seen in a video brandishing a gun. Faisal Dauda is party treasurer.
And have a society without vigilantism. But what we realize is that on our side, the police are not on our side when it comes to matter of neutrality. The Electoral Commission are being biased when it comes to matter of neutrality. A person, a vigilante person who can never even spell his name, came with a national ID card, a national security card, imposing himself as a national security person. That means if we sign this agreement, we don't want to witness such thing again, because a number of them may be used by the government and issue them a national ID for the national security ID. So our people, when it comes to defending ourselves, when the police are not on our side, the national security, the soldiers were even there. The guy took a gun, pointing to a police officer. Up to today, he has not been arrested. The government has not issued a statement to condemn that. After minutes of deliberations, the NDC agreed to sign the pact with a condition that police and the Electoral Commission remain neutral. Chairman of the National Peace Council, Professor Emmanuel Asante, said the council will do more to ensure peace is maintained in the constituency.
So as far as we are concerned, we have agreed that at some point, sometime in October, we would like the Honorable Muntaka and is it Honorable Alidu? We would like to bring them together to really jaw and also make a public demonstration of commitment to peace within the area so that the people would understand. In most cases, the majority of the people here are yearning for peace.
Meanwhile, Muslim Mothers Network, a pressure group, says they will double efforts to help maintain peace. Hajia Fatima to Yasmin Apiedu is leader.
All the hotspots are, Muslim-based areas, and we are not happy with that. So mothers, the Federation of Muslim Women, we are happy to hear from the Peace Council and the commander of Asawase.
For JoyNews, Nana Ochima reporting.
And just before we go, still in Asawase, the NDC officials there have arrested and handed over to the police a 36-year-old man accused of collecting voter ID cards of some residents of Asokore Mampong and its environs. Over 300 voter ID cards and duplicate cards were found in his possession, and they've also been handed over to the Asokore Mampong police. The NDC's regional chairman says it's a ploy to get some voters within the NDC stronghold disenfranchised, and we'll bring you more details in our subsequent bulletins. But that's how we wrap up election brief for today. I'm Arba Kumsin. As always, join me every weekday at 1:30 to 2 p.m. Up next is Nathaniel Atto with Sports Today.